I knew at the back of my hand that I need to pass this FE exam, no matter how long, how many times it takes. You have a lot of doubts, like self-doubts. You're not putting the enough time. When I took the exam, I didn't feel confident. I said, no, this is not, I don't think I did it well. And I think at that time, when I took School of PE, I didn't really feel comfortable taking the course because I don't think I was well prepared. I did look at it and I went to take the exam again, didn't do well. I felt disappointed, depressed. I felt so confident. I said, okay, I can do this.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm interviewing Pratik, who recently passed his FE exam. Now, Pratik graduated in 2016 with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, and he has failed the FE exam 3 times before he passed it. If you're someone who has failed the FE exam multiple times and you're feeling discouraged, I really think this interview is gonna inspire you and help you with your FE preparation. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Pratik, so you took your FE exam 4 times. What
Uh-huh.
do you think that kept you going, and what was that thing that didn't stop you from just giving up?
Well, I knew for the civil engineering career, especially I work in New York City, where it's very challenging in terms of career. So I knew at the back of my hand that I need to pass this FE exam, no matter how long, how many times it takes. And basically, in order to take the PE exam and promote yourself into your career, I knew I had to pass the FE and then take the PE exam. So, well, I had the support from my wife. She was pushing me every day, all day. It was hard, and I remember when I took it first time. I think I was in college at that time. It was my last semester and was my senior project and everything else. So I didn't really get to study much. So I took it because and it was a requirement from my school that you have to take the FE regardless of results in order to graduate. So I took it. I didn't pass basically, and then I got my job in construction, and then I didn't realize that construction takes so much of your time, especially when you're
Hmm.
working day shift, night shift, and I think at that time I took School of PE, and I was studying earlier in the morning, and then I would go to sleep, and then for night shift I would start going to work at 4 o'clock, and I would come back early in the morning at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. There's no guarantee basically because you are working with the contractor. So when the contractor is like, all right, this is it, we are done for the day, you're like, all right, I can go to home. And once I come home, maybe catch a couple hours sleep, get up early to study, and then go back to sleep and then go back to work. And I don't remember exactly when I scheduled for the exam, but I knew I wasn't prepared, but I still went for it. And then and when I took the exam, I didn't feel confident. I said, no, this is not, I don't think I did it well. And I think at that time, when I took School of PE, I didn't really feel comfortable taking the course because I don't think I was well prepared. And they don't have like, especially with statics and stuff like that, they didn't have as many problems that I wanted for practice, like you have in your course. So and then when I came back, I didn't feel comfortable. I mean, and when I got the result, I didn't check my result because I know I didn't do well. And then when I took it for the third time, people, a lot of my colleagues, my friends, they said, why don't you try Linderberg Yellow Book? And I heard about Linderberg Yellow Book. I looked at it and the problems that I saw in it, I said, I don't think they make it this difficult in terms of FE preparation.
Mm.
And so I did look at it, and I went to take the exam again, didn't do well. I felt disappointed, depressed. And then one day I said, you know what, let me go to YouTube, see what they have, if there's any course. And then that's what I found you, your courses. I looked at your some of your videos. I provided you my email address, and I remember you calling me, and then you explained it to me. You said try the course and stuff, and then I signed up for it. I think it was fall 2020 when I started your course. And then I felt comfortable, I felt confident, and I'm like, okay, I think this is the place to be. And then I think at that time you didn't have afternoon course updated yet. And then that's where my journey began. And yeah, it was pretty bad, but I passed.
Yeah, there were a lot of ups and downs. It was
Oh
a
yeah,
quite,
it was.
yeah, it was a quite journey. Uh,
Yeah.
okay, let's unpack some of that. I feel like that was
Mhm.
a lot of information you provided. So so I got like, so the first time you took it, it was in school, in college. Second time you took a school of PE,
Mhm.
and that didn't help. And then third time you tried the Linder book, and
Yes.
that didn't help either. And then you
Correct.
enrolled in my class in 2020, and then you
Yes.
felt that you felt so disappointed and depressed. Now, at this point, were you still in construction where like life was still really busy and hectic?
Well, yeah, I mean, the first job I finished it and I moved to the second job in construction, which was okay because it was at the day shift mostly, like until 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. But I still, when I came back, I thought I was not focused and I felt like I lost a lot of energy, so I couldn't focus much. And it's like when you're tired and everything, you just don't want to do anything. You're just gonna want to watch TV and just relax a bit. So that's, and then in 2018 I switched my job. Basically I went to design, and it was
Okay.
the and then at that time I said, okay, this is my opportunity to take the FE exam and start preparing for it, because I knew what my schedule is, and according to my work schedule I can plan everything.
Got you. Yeah, that helps a lot when you have like a set schedule, like, set
Yeah.
of hours where it's like, you're going to be working. So then
Hmm.
you can kind of plan around it, and then you can know when you can study and stuff.
Hmm.
Now, so when you failed the FE exam the third time, and then
Hmm.
that moment you said that when you felt very disappointed and depressed,
Hmm.
um, what was after that? How did you come back from that? From the reason I'm asking you is because there's so many people that
Hmm.
are in the same situation as you were, where
Hmm.
they probably failed the FE exam 4 times, 6 times, or even 9 times, and
Hmm.
they probably are going through the same thing right now. And
Hmm.
so that's why I want to dive in a little bit and just ask you, how did you go from that to like and switch it and to be like, okay, I need to come up with a new plan and I need to pass this test?
So I mean, I like first few weeks I didn't do anything because I was depressed, and then you basically question yourself, like, why am I in this career where after you graduate you have to take the exam, and to go forward in your career you have to take the PE exam and all that. And then I didn't do much. I worked. I came back from work, try to get myself busy or go to gym to move away from the depression. And then after a few weeks I remember I was going on YouTube video and just typing like FE exam preparation and stuff like that, and you get like millions of stuff on internet. And then I think at one point I came across your video and interviews, and then I was just looking at it. I was looking at your problems and stuff like that, and then I started practicing again. And then I said, okay, I think this looks promising, because at that time I didn't have the course. So I was like, okay, maybe I can practice a problem, see if I can get the answers and stuff like that. And then I actually went to your website, and then I said, okay, maybe I can sign up and see how it is. And then I remember when I did your morning course, I started with math and statistics. And I think when I took your statics module, that's where I felt very comfortable and confident. I said, this is the course, I think, because when I was listening to your videos and stuff like that, your problems, the way you were explaining in details, I understood what were you saying and what were you talking about. So I was like, okay, this is it. And then every day I was pushing myself, come back from work, I said, I gotta put a couple of hours every day. And then weekends I would put 6 or 7 hours, it depends. And then and then it started from there. And then I think I did your morning course 3 times with all the videos.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember when I started you didn't have the afternoon course. I did the morning course. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do morning course again. So I did it twice. And after I finished it twice, you had your afternoon course. So I started morning course again. And then I went all the way to afternoon and I pretty much finished the whole thing. I have the notes here. Look at this.
That's a lot. That's a lot of notes, folks.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay. So the that was I want to say that was really cool that you shared that. And so basically watching the interviews of students kind of almost gave you this hope that, you know, I
Yeah.
can do this. And I think that's why I really enjoy doing these interviews, and I want to do more of them and share them with people. And I want to actually just take this moment and just thank you for taking the time and doing this. And your video, you're gonna also, you know, inspire another students who are going through the same thing as you did, and then you're gonna inspire them and give them that hope, which is amazing. How we can easily do that and help each other. So I want to thank you for that. And the other thing I want to ask you is that, you know, looking back now that you passed your FE and you're here now, looking back at the 3 times when you took it, and we can just say the 2 times, because the first time you took it kind of in college, you didn't really prepare for it.
Right.
Whereas the 2 times after that, when you took School of PE and the Linderbook, you kind of studied for it. And then now that after you enrolled in our class and our program, you were able to pass your FE. Looking back, what do you think that really affected you to not pass your FE exam in in those first 2 times when you took it? What do you think that really had a big impact on you not passing your FE?
I don't know, maybe I felt like maybe I was not putting the enough time, maybe. I mean, you have a lot of doubts, like self-doubts. You're not putting the enough time. Maybe you think that the questions that I'm preparing for in terms of the FE exam, maybe I'm not studying the right question. Am I studying the right way or better way? I mean, there's sometimes I feel like if you put too much pressure on yourself, and basically sometimes you think you did enough study, and then when you go in exam you got completely blank. That's happened to me a lot of times, that I put so much time, put so much pressure on me, and on the day of the exam I go there and I'm like, wait, I never seen this. So something like that. But I mean, it's, I guess, I mean, I'm kind of happy that I failed the exam twice, because it's kind of teaching you a lesson that one day you will get the result that you want. It's basically you have to put a lot of put some amount of time, and don't put the pressure on yourself. Basically, when you are studying, treat this as a fun and enjoy yourself while you're studying, because at the end of the day you are doing this for your career. So, and you're proving yourself but nobody else. And that's what I enjoyed when I took your class. And plus what happens is when I took your course and when I was doing problems, without looking at the answers, and when I was getting the right answer, it felt so comfortable, and so I felt so confident. I said, okay, I can do this. I can do this with help of this course. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know, something that was really interesting you brought up is that you have to put in the work, but then at the same time you have to find the balance to not put too much pressure on yourself. And I think that one is really big. I feel like a lot of people, they put so much pressure on themselves to just get it done, get it over with, you know, just to get there. You know, I just want to pass my FE so I can go and get my PE and keep excelling in my career. And actually, you know, the faster you want to do it, the slower you actually make it happen. Now, you know, you're slowing the process more, you know. And I did notice that, you know, you enrolled in our program in the morning course in 2020. And I remember we had a conversation, we had a call, and, you know, I provided some study habits and study tips that you can implement. And then we didn't have the afternoon course then. And then we launched the afternoon course, I believe, by the end of 2021, summer of 2021. And then you just recently passed your FE exam, which is in 2022.
Correct.
That was I would say you took quite some time to prepare for the FE exam. So I want to ask you, I guess, why did you really took that much time to take your FE?
So when I started in 2020, I did the morning course and the statics module, which took me up to fall. And then I was doubting, I was not doubting myself, but I was like, do I, because my focus was to do the morning course really well, that if I go take the exam, I, I was thinking myself, if there were 55 questions, I should get at least 50 correct. If I get 50 correct, then I don't have that much pressure in the afternoon course. So I did your morning course twice. And then when I started the afternoon course, I was like, should I start morning course again and then go to the afternoon course, or should I just start at the afternoon course? So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start the morning course. And I did the afternoon course, which took me quite a good, I think 6, 7, 8 months. Because not when I was looking at the video, I was not just writing the problems and doing it. I was also taking each and every notes. It's in my notebook too. So it took me time. And like environmental section, which had so many notes and concepts, I wrote every single notes and concepts in my notebook. And after, I think I finished morning and afternoon, I would say around October. And then I think during October or November, I don't remember, but I had COVID. So I was in one room, like I felt like a prisoner. And then I took all my notes. I couldn't do any problems, but I was just memorizing all the stuff that was not part of the, like in the FE reference handbook. And then I felt better. So like my wife was with me and I said, so what should I do? Should I sign up for the exam now? Or so she said, yeah, sign up for the exam. But she said, before you sign up for the exam, promise yourself that when you go to commute every day in the bus, you will take your notes, study them, look at the problems over, study them, see what's needed in your what's not in your reference handbook, try to memorize them. So that's what I was doing during my morning commute and afternoon commute. And I remember end of December, I signed up for the date. I signed up for April 11. And then I think a week before I postponed it, I then postponed it to April 18. So before from November, December to April, I was just looking the problems, memorizing the notes. I was like basically talking to myself in the bus, like quietly in my brain, like, all right, what is this? What is that? If they ask you cantilever beam, what is the slope? What is the deflection? Looking at notes. And that's how I spend my commute during morning and afternoon coming home.
Well, yeah, that is, I would say that is very helpful, and I highly recommend students doing that. That is really powerful, just reviewing your notes. And I think the biggest one, what you said, is just really having that conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Just going like, if we were giving this, how would I solve it? If they change the question to this,
Yeah.
what do I do, right? Those are really important questions to ask, because they're making you think, and then they're helping you reinforce the concepts and make sure that
Yes.
you know them. And the
Yes.
other thing about the FE exam is that it's constantly changing, and there are always new problems and questions. And so you don't know what you're gonna get. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
love how you did that. And then you were just constantly reviewing your notes. I think that helps so much, because something I get from students all the time is, Kenza, how do I retain information for my FE, right? Because like, just think about it. You started in 2020. If you didn't go back and review the math section, you would, or the stuff that you covered you would have forgotten it, right?
Yeah, that's my issue too. That's why
Yeah.
I kept retaining, looking at those notes
Yeah.
and seeing, like thinking myself, all right, I need to drill this in my brain. So if anybody wakes me up at 2 o'clock and asks me the concept, I should know it.
Wow.
So,
That's awesome. Okay, let me ask you this then. What would you say what was the most helpful study tip that you would recommend to students to do?
I would say, like, I mean, I went over videos 3 times, but I would tell people that when you are studying, make sure you study focused, put yourself in that concentration, that I need to put whatever many hours you're doing over the weekdays, over the weekends, but make sure you allocate that time for studying. Put your cell phone away somewhere. Don't get disturbed by all this social network and website and all that. Once you finish your studying, make sure you go back, look at your notes, keep talking to yourself that if they ask me this question, how should I answer it? Where do I need to go back? What do I need to go in reference handbook to look at this? What page was it? All those things. And especially people who are struggling with statics and stuff like that, keep going back, keep looking at the problems, keep refreshing your memories, and that's pretty much. And just push yourself, chase your dreams. One day I think you will see pass on your result, and I think it's probably the happiest moment.
Okay, awesome. I think one you mentioned as well that I really like is like challenge yourself. I think that's a big one. Like don't keep doing easy problems because they make
No.
you feel good, right? Do the
Yeah.
difficult ones as well. I think that's something people do. Yeah. Okay. Now that you shared with us the most helpful study tips, what would you say the study tips that really didn't help you and you don't recommend it to students because it made you feel stuck and then didn't really help you pass your FE? What would you say some of the stuff that you did that you feel like students should not do?
So when you do the, let's say you're doing like 10 to whatever 10 to 15 problem you just did, uh let's say out of 15 questions you get 10 correct and you feel confident like, oh, I know this. Because sometimes what I used to do, if I did the problems and I got all correct, I'll feel so happy, confident, like, all right, I don't need to look at it. But then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, you realize that you forget that. So basically what I would do is do the problems and then next day go back to those problems and see it again, and basically try to memorize them or try to remember the concepts in your brain and talk to yourself how I did this problem step by step. What is the question is asking? If you don't understand the first time, look at the second time, read the second time, and then go step by step, and keep reminding yourself and your brain that, okay, this is the next step, this is the next step. And that's what I used to do. I used to do like how many other problems. I go back next day and look at those 10 problems again to just remind myself, refresh my memory.
Okay. Now, how many hours would you say you used to study during the week, and then how many hours you did during the weekend?
So during the weekdays, I used to do, let's say, 2.5, 3 hours a day after I come back from my work. And weekends, I would start, let's say, like 8 o'clock. So I would go up to like 1, 2, like 6, 7 hours. On Saturday, Sunday, I would wake up earlier, like 5 o'clock. I used to wake up. I would start studying around 6:30, and I would go around 12:30.
Okay.
Because I'm a big NFL fan, so I would watch NFL games on Sunday.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
yeah, you gotta take breaks, right? You
yeah.
gotta,
So
yeah.
that's what my Sunday. I push myself to wake up early. I allocated time until afternoon, have lunch, and then watch NFL until night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually really like that because that was sort of like a motivation for you. If,
yeah.
I'm gonna wake up at 6:30 and study so that I'm able to watch NFL, for the rest. That kind of helped you, like motivated you a little bit.
Yeah, it basically gave me a break and making myself going away from the study, because I felt like if I just study all day every day, I'll be like lost myself, and then I'll forget stuff, I'll blank out during the exam. So on Sunday especially, I would study until like 12:30, and then close my books, and that's it. And then I watch TV, especially NFL games, until like night. And then waking up back on Monday morning, go back to work. I'll take my notes, what I need to look at over on in the bus to commute, during my lunch hour at work, and then coming back home in the bus. I would just look at the notes and then come back home, take shower, whatever, start putting studying again. And then that though I think I pretty much did that for a whole year,
I was
at
just
least 7 to 8 months.
I was just gonna ask you, did you do that for a whole year? I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah, I actually did. Actually, my breaks was my break from, it was during the COVID. Basically, I didn't do single problem. And I just basically at that time I just looked at the notes, and refresh my memory. And then once when COVID went away, I started, okay, go. And it was, I think I only had one topic to do, which was construction.
Mm.
And then I started doing construction. And then once I finished the whole thing, I said, now I gotta go all over again, look at all videos, notes, write all the notes that is not in part of the reference handbook and memorize it.
Wow. So
Yeah.
okay, we'll dive in a little bit about the FE when you took the FE exam, and then if that helped you solve the problems faster. But before we get to that, I want to ask you one more question about resources. I know you mentioned that for the your study material, you did get our bundle course. So you got the
Yes.
morning, the afternoon, the statics course. Did you get the practice exam as well? I think we had the practice exam done.
I know I did not take the practice exam. I said to myself,
Okay.
I said, I'm gonna go with the course. I
Okay.
trust the course. I believe in the course. I believe myself. I put enough amount of work in it. So I got the NCES white book.
Okay.
I did the problems. I did those practice exam. That only practice exam, I think 3 times. Like
Okay.
2 weeks before the exam, and then I think a couple of days before, I just did the memorizing, basically what's not in the reference handbook. I looked at the reference handbook itself, what the things are, what the stuff is at. And then I think my exam was on Monday, so Monday morning I just prepared myself, um, just took the train and went there and took the exam. But when I came back, I thought, I'm like, I don't know how I did it because there were a lot of concept questions. And my wife called me too, actually. She called me. She's like, how did you do? I said, I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I think I did okay, but let's see. And some reason this time, because I know when you take the FE, you get the results in few days, especially in New Jersey. But now that, because that you're allowed to take PE whenever you want during the year, they took like 2 weeks to get me the FE results.
Really?
So I was nervous. I said, wait, what's going on? And then one day I was at work and I got an email that, okay, your result is released. And my hands were shaking.
Yeah. Was it a
Yeah.
Wednesday?
I think it was Wednesday.
Right.
I got the result on April 27 or 28, I believe. I don't remember the exact date.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I passed it. Right, nice. And my colleague was right next. I think he knew it too. Every day he was asking me, did you get the result? Did you get the result? And then the day I got it, I called him over. I said, look,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I was very happy.
I was gonna say, how did that feel when you saw that you got your
I took the snapshot, I sent it to my wife.
yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool. And going back to after the exam, you had mixed feelings about it. I think everybody does. I remember after I was done, like my parents were asking me how I did, and my husband, and I was like, I honestly don't know. I could either pass it or fail it. It's like
Yeah.
it's
It's
weird. You just don't know. Yeah.
it's like a lot of my colleagues, they told me the same thing. And
Yeah.
I asked them, I said, how did you do? And they said, I don't know. It's a mixed feeling. And they said, I think I bombed the exam. I said, really? And then they come back, they're like, oh, I passed it. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And then it's like you don't get that confidence passing it. It's like, I don't know. I did okay. I think I did well, but I don't know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you went to your exam, when you took the FE exam, how did you feel? Like, well, first of all, did you feel did you finish the exam on time, or did you have extra time afterwards?
Morning course, I think I finished a bit early, and
Hmm.
I went back and review all the problems. The one I didn't know, I kind of guessed some of them actually. Um, but the afternoon one, it took me almost all the time.
Yeah. So how do you remember how much time did you spent in the morning and then in the afternoon? Do you remember exactly?
Morning, I think I finished like 15-20 minutes early, and then I basically spent those 15 minutes looking at the problems, making sure I did it okay. And some of the question I had self-doubts. So I kind of really did it on fast on calculator to see that I got the answer that is, look, it's on the multiple choice. Hopefully it was correct. And then afternoon course, I think I finished like, I had like only 10 minutes. So whatever I had flagged on, I basically went back and I kind of guessed some of them. I still remember one of the environmental question, and there were other problems that I guessed, and then it was time. So I was like, I guess let's see. I mean, hopefully I did okay, and then let's see how. But morning when I was pretty confident, not like, I would say I was 50%, 60% confident that the morning part, well, it went well actually, but I had more doubts on the afternoon.
Awesome, cool. Okay, so now now that you have passed your FE exam and you have achieved this big goal, how do you feel right now? Do you feel more confident to achieve, you know, maybe the PE or other goals?
Yeah, I mean, you do feel confident, and when you put that EIT next to your name, you feel that, oh, I finally achieved this.
Yeah.
Now, well, I haven't started studying for PE yet because once I took my EIT, my brother just got married in August, so I was helping him preparing the marriage stuff and like that. So now I think I've heard about the EET, so I'm gonna sign up for the course and start preparing for PE exam.
Okay, awesome. All right. And also just something for you to know. So for the PE breath, the morning section of the PE is very similar to the FE afternoon. So make sure that you go back to the afternoon course again and review those problems, because we recently had a lot of students who passed their PE and they actually used our course and it really helped them for the afternoon. So you have lifetime access, so use it. Make sure you go back and review.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Yeah.
What a couple of my colleagues, they took the PE exam and they passed it, and they said, make sure you do the afternoon course of the FE again.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much is the first part of PE. And the second part, it's pretty much in depth. So that's why I have my notes. It's right
Yeah.
here.
You're ready to go.
It's time to go back
Yeah.
and start looking. I start looking at it and then get myself back in.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. That's great. One thing I'd like to ask you about the resources. So you said that you've only used the our bundle course and the NCS practice exam.
Mhm.
Can you tell us maybe one specific thing that you really liked about our courses?
Well, the course is very organized. It's right at the point. Um, and the other thing is, I don't think once you get your course, I don't think you need to go to the other sources and look for more problems, because it's like basically one stop and everything is there. Also, especially I would say thanks to Pranita, she's been a big help. Whenever I need it, I ask the questions. She is right there responding me. So that's a big help. I to me, School of PE is there, but it wasn't worth it for me. Or the Linder book, Yellow book, it wasn't worth it. I tell a lot of my friends, colleagues, I said, this is it. This is your place right here. The only thing you have to do, show up, put your study time, allocate a couple of hours every day. In weekends, put yourself 6-7 hours, and this is your place. And your money is worth it. You just got to put your time in it and then start going. Keep going yourself. That's it. Push yourself.
That's awesome. Great. Thank you for sharing that with us. And yes, I'm gonna have to agree. Pranita is pretty amazing, and she's helping a lot of students with
Yeah, Pranita has been great.
yeah,
I'm telling you.
she's great. Yeah, we're very happy to have her. Okay, last question. What's the number one piece of advice you would give to another students who are right now going through this similar situation as you did? Someone who, you know, failed the FE exam so many times and they're feeling so discouraged right now. What would you say to them?
I guess push yourself, chase your dreams. If you think you made it, you studied really hard, you put your time in it, sign up for the exam, Don't worry about passing or failing. Go take the exam. And that's the only thing you have in your control. Results are not in your control. If you fail, go back to it and just keep it simple. Keep studying, do the problems, look over the problems, and just push yourself. That's it. Challenge yourself, push yourself, and one day I guess result will be in your favor.
Awesome. Thank you,
No
Pratik.
problem.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today and for sharing all these great insights. And I really hope this is gonna inspire a lot of people out there and help them to not give up on the FE and to keep going. So I really want to thank you for taking the time and sharing your FE journey with us.
No problem. Thank you.